Hello, you lovely, wonderful people. Welcome to my first ever attempt at an honest game review. This one's going to be short and sweet. We're talking about Blue Protocol today. This is an MMO I was actually pretty excited for. When I was first shown it, it looked a lot like Mabinogi in some of the interfaces, and Mabinogi is of course my favorite MMO of all time. So I thought maybe it would be pretty gacha heavy, unfortunately, and that would be one of the bigger downsides. But otherwise, it would be a cool, in-depth game that I could really just waste some time on for a bit. So, as I waited for months for the game to come out, I looked up some combat stuff, and it looked a little disappointing to me, if I'm going to be honest. I thought, worst case scenario, it was going to have Genshin Impact combat, which I do like Genshin Impact. I just feel like its combat system would be too restrictive for an MMO, because you want to level up and gain a ton of new abilities and be able to use them and work with them all together, that kind of stuff. That's a lot of the fun of MMOs to me. But I also thought, I also thought, best case scenario, it would be like Blade and Soul, which has amazing combat. So I was like, okay, maybe it could go either way. We'll not get our hopes up too much, but we'll just keep this in mind for when we play as one of the main criteria we're going to judge it on. So we boot it up, and the first thing it does is toss us into the character creator. Great, that is one of the other things I was very interested in. I cycle through the base hairstyles, because I want to make Coco, of course, and the options aren't great, unfortunately. Then I noticed we can change our front and back hair separately, which got me a little excited. It made me think of Code Vein, which has my favorite character creator in any game. So we go there. The options are still pretty limited, but it is nice that they let us have that change. So we get to make our kind of Coco. We have thickness modifiers, which was interesting to me, and we got to make a decently thick Coco. So overall, I would give the character creation 6.5 out of 10. Well, it's a little better than middling, but it's not great, you know? It's not super in-depth like, say, Black Desert Online, and it's definitely not even close to the 10 out of 10 Code Vein that I thought it would be at first glance. But that's okay. The game's new. We move on. We get into the world. We have a little letter from What's-Her-Face just saying she fixed up her outfit, blah blah blah, and we head downstairs with our new outfit. We get a little quirky cutscene that gives me a bad impression right off the bat that this game wants to be Genshin Impact. It really feels like it wants to be Genshin Impact. Anyway, we get through the stupid cutscene and we get to naming our character, and of course I just want to be Coco. It turns out that this game, with the thickness modifiers, the titty adjustments with our jiggling booba, has a very strict name censor, so we couldn't be Coco because of the COC in Coco. There's not even a K in it, obviously, but they couldn't handle the cock in Coco. And gotta say, story of my life. So unfortunately, we have to be Kuko, which already that's kind of strike 2 there. That this game wanted to be Genshin Impact was strike 1, left a bad taste in my mouth. Not being able to be Coco was the second strike, but we continue. We go out and we get a bunch more cutscenes, way too many cutscenes. This game, it wants to be Genshin Impact. I'm starting to realize the longer I play this game, which wasn't very long, the more that its entire personality is, I wish I was Genshin Impact. So we keep going through the game. I skip most of the cutscenes because they're really cringy and obnoxious and just want to be Genshin Impact. And we get through to our first bit of combat, and I will say the combat was pretty fun. I liked it. We got to beat up a little training dummy, and that was cool. And we had a good amount of skills right off the bat. which was a bit interesting. Made me wonder how it's going to be as we level up. If we're gonna evolve the skills we have, or get new ones to replace them, or if this was just it. And we continue. A ton more cutscenes, cutscene. This game wants to be Genshin Impact. I'm gonna say that every time. And I skipped most of it because I just couldn't anymore. It was so cringy and just unpleasant putting up with that. But that's okay. Like, I like cringy and unpleasant, and I like anime games. You know, as I said, Mabinogi is my favorite MMO, and it literally advertises itself as, you know, your fantasy life, your anime life, right? So I'm used to the cringy anime stuff, but this was over the top. And, like, if it was its own identity, that would have been fine. But again, the fact that it just felt so much like it really wanted to be Genshin Impact, just, it just hurt getting through. So then, the thing that made me, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, the thing that made me hate this game to the core of my being, we got a loading screen that told us, press H for auto battle. Auto battle? In my MMO. We walk out into the field, we see a sheep, I walk up and I press H, and I combo it and it dies. And I turn around and I wait for it to respawn, and my character automatically kills it and it dies. My arms are crossed. They are not touching my keyboard, they're not touching my mouse. I have zero control over anything in the game state. My arms are crossed against my chest. It respawns, and I kill it. Do you see the problem here? I was worried that worst case scenario, this game's combat would be like Genshin Impact. That was supposed to be worst case scenario. No, this isn't auto battler. This is one of those fucking AFK, do nothing with your time. Basically a mobile game pretending that it's an MMO while also trying to be Genshin Impact. This game didn't have its own identity. It was, I logged out right there and then. That was it. 36 minutes. That was my entire playthrough. Normally, I would say give the game at least 2 hours, right? 2 hours to see if you like it, because obviously the beginning part's always going to be slow, a little bit cringy, and you're not going to have a lot of abilities to use while you're going through the tutorial stuff and unlocking them, and just trying to get your bearings in the world. So 2 hours minimum is usually what I say you have to do for a first impression. But every single second of this, I was so miserable playing it. From the this game wants to be Genshin Impact to not being able to name a character Coco because the, you know, titty slider jiggle physics anime game apparently doesn't want bad words in it. When obviously Coco isn't even a bad word. Like, what if you say you want hot cocoa? That's normal. Small children like hot cocoa. Adults like hot cocoa. You know, it's a beverage. Cocoa is named after a beverage. And I will let you guys know that for games where I enjoy the combat, I think Mabinogi does combat pretty okay for an MMO. How there are different options, different things you can do, different ways you can react to scenarios, right? It's not just a rotation. I hate when a game is just a rotation, like Final Fantasy XIV. You can just macro it to one button, right? Your entire rotation. That wasn't for me. I think that World of Warcraft kind of suffers from that too, but it is a little bit more open-ended. I really love Riders of Icarus. I think that had great comeback. Of course, Vindictus had great comeback. Mabinogi Heroes, basically. Or I think that's what it was called at once. Blade and Soul, some of the best combat in an MMO I've ever played. Really loved it. And I think the crowning combat in an MMO is Black Desert Online. So that's kind of like, that's the high end of the best thing I would see in the combat. I was kind of expecting it to lean more on the lower end, but I didn't think it would be auto combat. And that's my opinion on combat in these games. I've played a lot of MMOs, right? I've played like Fiesta. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. But when I was a small kid, I played the Lord of the Rings one. You know, I've played a lot of them. I've experienced a lot of combat. I've never seen something this egregious. But anyway, that is my first impression of it. It is everything I hate about this generation of gamers. The auto battling, the cringy ooh woo fucking Genshin Impact style, or Genshin Impact wannabe style. It was just, I know that this game's gonna have a huge market. That's the problem, right? I know that there's a large amount of Gen Z who are like, oh my god, a game where I can feel accomplished by not playing it because I gotta press H in auto battle and then ooh woo anime girl cutscenes, so silly quirky. I know it's gonna have a huge market, and that's great. If you enjoy it, I hope you keep enjoying it. Don't let me ruin it for you, right? This is just my own personal opinion. Everyone is welcome to their own personal opinion, and I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys get to have the fun I didn't get to have. But to me, this is a 0 out of 10 game, completely ruined by the auto battle system. That like the I could have put up with everything else if the combat was good, and that just stabbed me right in the soul, a stake to the cold dead heart. And that is my full review of this game. I wish I could have made this a longer review video. Future ones I want to make them longer, but I just with only with only 36 minutes of gameplay before I had to quit because I was shaking from how much I was miserable playing it. That's all I can give you guys. I'm so sorry. I hope you guys enjoy it, but it wasn't for me. And that is my honest review of Blue Protocol. Thank you all for watching. I hope each and every one of you has a fantastic day. Please make good choices, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Take care.